He hyped up the crowd, got slammed with a tech, and smirked like he knew exactly what he was doing. Trey Young doesn't back down, even when the refs are in his face and the crowd's raining boos. If anything, he leans into it. But the moment he got hit with a technical for simply hyping up the fans, that exposed something deeper. Because this isn't just about one call. This is about a player who's been poking the bear since day one. Just maybe the league is finally biting back. It all started the night he was traded for Luka Doncic. From that moment, the comparisons were brutal. Luka was seen as the future, while Trae was doubted, criticized, even laughed at. But instead of fading out, he turned the hate into heat. And when the 2021 playoffs rolled around, he didn't just silence the critics. He stepped into the role of the NBA's perfect villain. Madison Square Garden was his stage, and the Knicks, just another victim. He bowed mid-game, smirked through chants of Trey Young, and dropped dagger after dagger. That was the night a new kind of star was born. One who didn't want your love, just your attention. But Trae hasn't just been battling fans. He's been going head-to-head with the guys in stripes, too. Over the years, he's racked up a reputation for being a constant target for technicals, whether it's his fiery reactions, his frustration with no calls, or just daring to talk back. Refs don't seem to have much patience for Trae. In a recent game, he got slammed with a tech just for gesturing to the crowd after drawing a foul. That wasn't even trash talk, it was energy, but the ref took it personally. And here's the thing, Trae's not the only one who's noticed. Around the league, players whisper about how some refs just can't handle being shown up, but when it comes to Trae, it almost feels like they're waiting for him to slip. Fans hate him, and he loves every second of it. Trae doesn't just play basketball, he performs. From shushing Boston crowds to laughing off Philly boos, he knows exactly how to push buttons. It's not accidental. It's psychological warfare. He wants you mad. He wants the noise, because the louder it gets, the more locked in he becomes. And let's not forget, he's barely over 6 feet, constantly doubted, and carries a team on his back. The crowd is his fuel, and when they boo, that's when you should really be afraid. Here's where things get weird, because other stars get emotional too. Luka argues every call. Draymond Green practically has his own tech hotline, but when Trae reacts, he's labeled a whiner or out of control. So what gives? Is it because of his size, his attitude, or is it something more personal? Fans have started asking whether Trae's being held to a different standard, penalized not for what he does, but how he does it. And when you look at how often he gets into it with refs compared to other stars, the pattern starts to feel real. Here's where things get weird, because other stars get emotional too. Luka argues every call. Draymond Green practically has his own tech hotline, but when Trae reacts, he's labeled a whiner or out of control. So what gives? Is it because of his size, his attitude, or is it something more personal? Fans have started asking whether Trae's being held to a different standard, penalized not for what he does, but how he does it. And when you look at how often he gets into it with refs compared to other stars, the pattern starts to feel real. Let's not forget the numbers. Despite all the noise, all the drama, all the headlines, Trae delivers. He's one of the few players in the league averaging double digits in assists and scoring. He hits deep threes, makes clutch plays, and creates for everyone around him. He's been an all-star, carried his team to the Eastern Conference Finals, and torched some of the league's best defenses. He may not fit the mold of a likable superstar, but he's undeniably effective, and maybe that's exactly the point. Trae isn't here to be liked, he's here to win. So what's next for Trey Young? He could keep playing the villain, leaning into the boos, embracing the chaos, or he could flip the script. What if he leads the Hawks back into contention, silences the critics, and builds a legacy on his terms? The truth is, the villain arc only works if you back it up, and Trae, he's been doing just that, night after game. Trey Young might be the NBA's most hated star. That's exactly what makes him must watch. He's brash, emotional, unpredictable, and absolutely fearless. He's the guy who shows up in your city, drops 30, shushes your crowd, and leaves smiling. He's not chasing approval. He's chasing greatness. So the next time Trae gets booed out of a building, remember, he's not cracking under pressure. He's thriving in it. And whether you love him or hate him, you're definitely watching.